I'm spending my whole weekend in my pajamas. The whole thing for me is I'm trying to save you time, money, and energy. I have got a PhD in life. So, like, what do I care what some random person on the internet thinks of me? In New Year, new me, you gotta have some fun. God, Tim, everything you touch just, like, is amazing. And I want to tell that person, no, it's not. I'm only trying to make one person happy, and that's Tim Castleman. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the next edition of Tim Talks. I'm your host, Tim Castleman, with Sometimes Sue.
Sometimes
Sue is still here. We are
Yes.
in Cuba now. Before we talk about our amazing day, because today was an all-star day, if I will.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Sue. I had a question. I had this thought when I was taking our cool-down shower, which is if tomorrow, for some reason, they were like, you cannot leave Cuba for 90 days, and you had to work while you were here, what would you need to change?
Okay, what would I need to change?
Based on what we're already experiencing?
Well, clearly I would need better cell phone access, you know.
You mean internet access, right?
Yes.
Internet and cell phone, okay.
You know, while we're out and about, because obviously we're using the Wi-Fi at the Airbnb, which is fine, but, you know.
It's dog shit. The Wi-Fi here is dog shit. And the internet here in the country is dog shit.
Right.
But I was thinking that's the first thing that came to my mind too. I said the first thing I'd have to find somebody and be like, whatever the highest speed internet you have, I want that times 2, and I would like it in this apartment here.
And it definitely seems like it's like great in the morning, but as the day goes on.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we're on a data cap.
I'm sure.
And it's a severe data cap. It's not like, oh, you downloaded 100 movies, now we're capping you.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you looked at 4 photos today? You won't be seeing that 5th.
Right. So, of course,
we would need that.
Gotta get the internet.
Right. We'd have to find all the food we would need to eat.
Yeah.
Outside of the government market.
True.
But as we've seen, there are a million of these little, what we would call pop-up shops, which look like, honestly, they look like former garages that were underneath people's houses.
People selling stuff out of their, like, garage.
And you go, oh my God, that sounds terrible. No. We mean like full businesses. Like the place we went to today to get rum.
Yeah.
I mean, it had rum, it had bread, it had snacks, it had pastries,
it had
Yep.
cookies. And I mean, I'm like, you go, girl, you know?
Yeah, and you know, we bought a bottle of rum today for $16. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's just absolutely.
We might need to break into that soon.
We
haven't had enough rum.
Yeah, we definitely will be breaking into it shortly. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So we would need, obviously, a little higher speed internet to be able to do what it is that we do. We would need to probably cook a few meals here.
Well, that's the other big thing. Obviously, we would need to be able to purchase, you know, some type of grocery items, and clearly there's a lot you can tell they can't find, like they can't find lemons, God forbid, or they can't.
I'm sorry, French lemon.
French lemons,
yes.
Or like she was saying, you know, bananas.
Yep.
You know,
plantains, yes. Bananas, no. Yep.
Yeah.
Butter, nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
Actual milk, nowhere to be seen so far.
I probably have to give up my beloved grape nuts, which I love near and dear to my heart.
But we'd make it up with homemade pastries like we had this morning, and some of the best coffee in the world.
I'm loving the Cuban coffee. So I'm gonna, like, when I go back home, I'm gonna be so sad drinking my whatever it is I drink.
And we don't want to brag, but we did 9,800 steps today.
Yeah.
And we've been killing it on the steps every day.
Yes.
It's like an old people's workout class without even trying to be. I mean, I think in 3 months we would have 6-pack abs just from the walking and the sweating.
Yes. Not only just walking around, but we're talking about walking on crazy, dangerous sidewalks.
Cobblestone streets, broken sidewalks.
Things sticking up, the holes in the ground.
At a nice, solid 45-degree angle walk up, you know? Yeah.
You're going to know what you're doing around here. This is like Olympic level walking.
This place is a walking sobriety test. That's for damn sure.
For sure.
Yeah, and if you got messed up, you would know about it real quick. That's for sure.
So the internet, you know, and it's funny because, you know, at the end of the day, of course, I'll perhaps watch some Netflix or two. And, I mean, obviously, we haven't watched TV once since we've been here.
There's no TV in here, although we did watch TV today to watch the soccer game.
Yeah. Yep. So
Mr. Miami and his visit, yes.
It's kind of funny. I mean, could I give up TV up for 90 days? I think I could. I mean, obviously, if we had laptops and we could had our great internet, might be something different.
VPN, great internet. Obviously, we need to have whatever money we needed here.
Yes.
But, you know, again, this is all hypothetical. But, I mean, I think if we could do that, I think we could not only make it, I think we would thrive here.
You know what I still wonder too is this is just like a fun thing, obviously, but the hotel that we will talk about, we found this hotel close by, and they had this amazing pool. Of course, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I'm just going to walk in there, literally with a towel and just go in the pool.
Oh, no, I think the towels are on the thing. So I think we're just going to walk in there on Tuesday. I think we're
going to have to do this
and we just look like we're here to...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They probably know us by now because we've been there a couple of times.
They will by that time, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But, of course, there's the food. I mean, we wouldn't even need a vehicle. We would just...
Nope.
Either walk, but that would be up to like 20,000 steps a day.
Taxi, if we needed to, we would obviously get that done. Yep.
So, let's see. What else would we need? It's interesting, even been here for less than a week, when you realize kind of how little that you need to like be happy and,
And how quickly you can get out of your old routine and into a new routine.
Sure.
And you're like, oh, shit, I don't even remember what that old routine, was like. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And I also think the 12 hours of sleep we're getting a night, yes.
That's a big boon.
Yeah, I feel like we'd have to eventually crack those curtains and be like, hey, we sort of got to get up at a reasonable hour. Look, if they wanted us to get up at a reasonable hour, they wouldn't put the best air conditioning of my entire life and blackout shades in the same place.
Airbnb is highly rated just for those two things alone.
I would stay here 100% for that, even though there's nothing in the main room for us to watch. We're sitting, in two chairs. I mean,
The main room is pretty
sparse.
It's
but
sparse.
But we also understand why, because I would say realistically, 90% of the times when you walk by a house, people are sitting outside.
Yeah.
They're sitting outside, and you're like, what are they doing? That's what they're doing. They're sitting outside.
That's what they do.
Yep. Watching the people walk by and whatever.
Walk by.
Yeah, exactly. So, man, where do we even begin with the amazing day that we had today? Let's start off with the fact that we finally dug into those pastries from the bakery for breakfast, for a precursor to breakfast, and it was amazing. It was really good. Don't know what it was. It was some type of jam inside of it, but for $1.
I know.
Yeah, I mean,
I would. Good size.
Yeah, I would go back and get a dozen of those and just destroy them over the course of a week.
Totally.
For sure. So we decided to do that. We got a little nibble in. We recorded an earlier podcast, and Sue was getting restless and needed her caffeine and coffee.
I did.
So we went back to the same place that we were gifted the Cuban cigar a few days ago. Had a wonderful meal, and that place, it was like 1:00, and that place was popping.
It was popping.
The music was blaring.
It was packed. There wasn't a seat.
We luckily got seats, but 20 minutes after we arrived, there wasn't a seat in the place for anybody. In fact, we even offered to share our table with someone if they needed a seat. They were like, "Oh no, we found one over there." But had cervezas. Sue got her coffee, and what do we get this time? We got the empanadas and the chicken nuggets.
Oh, yes. Chicken nuggets. Yes.
So we got chicken nuggets, which are more like chicken nugget fries, I think is the size of them. They were good, but they were small.
Quite small.
And the empanadas are small, but they're cheese filled with pesto, and they were amazing.
Those are pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, to throw 5 of those.
Sweet sauce, you dip it in.
Yeah, and, sweet and sour sauce with everything at this location.
Yep.
And it was great. It was fantastic.
I feel like if you're not drinking a beer, you're standing out, let me just say.
And no beer in the bottle this time. They had a keg this time. So that's the whole point. It's like this week it may be bottles that you're getting served. The next place you go, it may be cans. The next place it could just be out of a keg.
Yeah, you never know.
That you just
take it and drink it.
They never know. Yep. So they brought it out. It's nice and chilly, and it was like, let's do it. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was really good. And then we said, you know what? I told Sue, I said, like a kid in a candy shop, I've been sleeping and just waiting for the second for us to go back and go to that La Casa de Habana.
Oh, yeah.
So I said, let's go. And Sue was like, let's do it. So we walked down there. By the way, I don't want to brag on us, but we're not even using GPS anymore.
That's
we're just sensing things. We're putting our hands on the ground and going left tonto, right tonto. Yeah, I mean, our spidey senses are going off, and we nailed it. We found exactly where we wanted to go, went right back up to where we were before, brought that Americano money and euros and all that stuff with us, went in, got a cigar, got some souvenirs, went to go pay, and she was like, you need a card in order to buy here. And we're like, we don't know what that is. We have American dollars. And luckily, she was nice enough to accommodate us and help us figure it out. But we got some really cool things. One, in each one of these La Casa de Habanos, they actually have a roller there that rolls cigars. So I got a chance to show Sue that process.
Yeah, that was really cool.
And I know that from way back in my cigar days. So it was really cool to show them. And then they sell those cigars there as well. And guys, we're talking about Cuban cigars that are like $4.50 up to, I think I smoked the most expensive one at, the Churchills were $7, excuse me. But like super fucking cheap. Like if you wanted a Oje de Monterrey, it was like $8 per cigar, and they sold 3-pack minimums. Then we went out, we got cute little lighters that had the little emblems on them.
I hope we can keep those TSA people.
Yes, TSA folks, please. Yeah, big up to TSA, right?
Yeah.
And you got some shot glasses.
I got some shot glasses.
That say Cuba on there, so we know.
They're from Cuba.
They're from
folks.
Cuba.
Come on.
Yes.
I might give one to my daughter if you're very good to me. I
Yes.
don't know. They're awful cute, though. Maybe we can share.
Maybe we can share these
Yeah.
things. And then we're like, okay, well, we got the cigar. Let's sit down and just relax. They have a full bar. If Sue wanted another coffee.
Room.
Yeah, well, it's like, you know what? Well, so we just walk up to the bartender and we're like, oh, you know what? I'll take a Havana Club and we'll take San Cristobal, I think it was, the other one.
Yep.
He puts a giant ice cube in each one.
Oh, that's right. We're doing a taste test.
Yes, and then we're like, okay, we're going to taste test. We sit down. I don't think I've even lit my cigar yet before a stranger to our right pops up and comes over, and he's like, oh, I hear the American accent. Where are you from? So we tell him he's from Chicago. Okay, I want to make sure.
Brandon from Chicago.
Brandon from Chicago. Yes,
shout out to Brandon, because we know we pumped the Tim Talks podcast.
Yeah, we did pump the Tim Talks to our One American. That's what we're doing here, folks. We're spreading the Tim Talks message in Cuba, hoping to get the Cuban people on our side.
Getting some more listenings.
But honestly, Brandon, if you listen to this, dude, I was super impressed with you. A super personable person, a very nice guy who was just so excited to tell us about his many trips to Cuba and all the things that we needed to explore and check out. Had great info and was like, I'm going to give you my number. I'm going through customs tomorrow. I'll let you know how long it took me to go through the airport, what all happened, all that stuff. So I'm like, fuck yeah, that's amazing. And we probably talked, 30, 45 minutes with this guy talking about what we're doing. And he's here so often. He's coming back next month. And he's like, you guys should come back next month. I've already got the Airbnb. It's just a plane ticket. You need to do it. I'm like, fuck, maybe I just don't leave and I just stay here the whole time, So we got a chance to chat with him. And just about the time that conversation naturally died down, this guy comes in with an entourage, Mr. Miami, and he's from Miami, and he's in Cuba, probably visiting families, relatives, who knows. And he's like, what are you drinking? So we tell him, and he's like, no. And he tells the bartender, he's like, this is what I want you to get them, and I want you to put it on my tab. And we're like, you don't have to do that, man. He's like, no. And he's like, what are you smoking? So we show him, we're smoking. He goes, okay, here's another cigar. It's a La Casa de, it's a Fuente, excuse me. And I'm like, okay, I know Fuente, that's amazing. Then they go, hey, Sue, are you smoking? And she goes, oh, I don't have anything, and he gives her a Cohiba cigarello, which is like out of everything that I've bought and everything we're smoking currently, that's the nicest thing. And he gives it to her just totally out of kindness. Didn't expect anything.
Nice.
Didn't want anything.
The nicest guy.
Welcomed us to Cuba. Hoped that we had a great time. And just, that's what I'm so impressed with here is the people, not just the touristy areas, just people in general are very, very kind and very friendly and want you to have a good time here and are just free to give of themselves and what they have so that you have a great time here.
Super nice and friendly.
So we watched the soccer game with him because he was a big, not Real Madrid, whoever was going against him. They scored 2-0. He was happy. We tried some croquettes there that were delicious. Met another gentleman, an Americano from Philly, who's been down here several times, was in the cigar business, and that was crazy to kind of talk to him about some different things. And
he's here for 4 months.
I don't want to say getting his life in order because that's not right.
Yeah.
His kids just graduated. He's single.
Right.
And he's like, look, I'm trying to make some life changes. And I figured doing a monumental shift like this would help me with it. He's a big fan of Stoicism. Shout out to Ryan Holiday.
Oh, yep.
And just an amazing person. Just amazing
nice.
people is what I should say. Very friendly, very nice, very hospitable. And I gave my number and he's like, I'll call you when it's time to go out, and go to the disco. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I think you got us all wrong here. We are not trying to, that's not the type of scene we're into, nor is it that we want to. Our disco days are done.
Yeah.
I loved them. They were fun. I got to be responsible, waste a lot of money. Magnifique. But I have no interest in redoing that or wanting to do that again under any circumstances, especially in a foreign country. I'm like, let me get in a foreign country where you start feeding us alcohol and then you bring us the bill. Maybe not so much. But Brandon was nice enough to tell us, hey, listen, down the street by the Seawalk, half mile down the road, you got to go check it out. It's this huge castle. They bring you this big beer, and you just drink the beer and have a good time. And then he was like, you got to eat the olives. They're so amazing, man.
Oh, that's right.
Brandon, listen, we didn't get the olives, but we did get the 3 liters of beer.
Huge beer.
When we show up, we walk, right? Because we're not lazy Americans. We can put one in front of the other.
Yep.
So we walk down there, we check it, we walk into this place. It's all outside. It's all on the seawall.
Yep.
There's not a building or another land structure that you can see as far as the guy could see looking out at the sea. And you walk in there and it's got these small little cafeteria tables with 4 chairs, but every table has this giant, I thought it was like a beer stein, but what it was 3 liters of beer with a center part that was all ice to keep it nice and cold for you.
Yep.
And they don't let you buy the beer without at least having 1 plate of food.
Yeah.
We couldn't understand it. We're like, we don't want any food. And she was like, you don't get the beer without the food.
And
we're like,
the fish.
Yeah. So we're like, okay, so we'll get 1 fish meal, sure, whatever. So we start drinking the beer. The fish comes, the best fish I've had.
The fish was so good. It was like a grilled fish with this wonderful seasoning. It was it's funny because I was saying I thought it was much better than the fish we had at the kind of
Casa Mia.
Yeah, the fancy restaurant. This fish was great. And
they just have a barbecue out there, and that's how they cook it all. That's the crazy. You got fish,
and
rice, and I guess like some salad or something like that. I don't know. We didn't fucking touch it. By the way, their idea of salad here is just cut up tomatoes.
Yeah.
It's just like, these small tomatoes. Piece of lettuce. Yeah, 1 piece of lettuce, all this. So we're like, you can keep that. We're good. So we did that. Sue did a little adventuring while I did some drinking. Yeah. Tell them where you went and what happened. And the nice people you met upon your...
Of course, it was a castle. And I'm like, damn, I love castles, right? So there was stairs. So I'm like, what's up here? So I go up the stairs, and then I go into this level, the first level there. I guess it was the 2nd floor. And clearly it was a beautiful kind of bar area, and there was tables everywhere. The right side, you looked over and there was all these tables and cannons, legit cannons sticking out the windows of the fort, and it was obviously all closed. And then the stairs continued. So I'm like, and of course I had to go. I'm like, what's up here? So the stairs continued. I went to the roof. Absolutely beautiful view. It was small, but I'm looking around, looking at the view, absolutely gorgeous. So I come back down, and then I come down to the bar area, and there's a guy, he's like, hola, and I'm like, oh, hello.
Look at these friendly Cuban people greeting us to their country again. Hola, this is amazing, right?
Yeah. But sadly, I said, when are you opening up? Playing dumb, maybe it's going to open up later. And he's like, oh, no open, under construction. And he points to the roof. He's like, I fixed that, kind of a thing. And of course it was dark. I couldn't really see it. I said, oh, okay. Okay, well, thank you anyway.
So basically, Sue was in a forbidden area where she shouldn't have been.
Very forbidden. And he was very polite.
Yes.
He wasn't get the hell out of here, like they would probably say in America.
Look, they're used to seeing tourists, and I've always said that, I've said this 100 times to Sue. She's probably tired of hearing it, but it's like, if you're overly polite and overly apologetic in most situations, especially when you mean no harm, I think they sense that. And they're just like, oh, okay, you stupid American.
Thank you. I'll go, stupid American, there you go.
I'm not arguing with you. We'll get the fuck out of here immediately. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did that, and then Sunset, you got some amazing
Lovely
and beautiful
sunset
photos.
Pictures. Yep.
We did see one boat come into the harbor.
Oh, yeah.
That would definitely not pass American lifeguard standards based on just the sheer number of people that were on that one boat.
Yep. People hanging off the back, the transom, people hanging off the front. I'm like, these people are going to die. Let's face it.
Yeah. Like, well, we're about to see a man-made disaster in real time.
That could be on that boat fails video that I always watch. But
saw snorkeler. Yeah.
Yep,
Which and I found out today, I did not know this about Sue. We've been friends forever. She does not put her face in the water.
No, not a big no. Maybe for 2 seconds to cool off, quick dip underwater, and that's about it.
And this is including a pool. Under the sea, I understand, because it's like, I don't like the ocean, because I'm like, I can't fucking see the bottom and I don't know what's down there. And it's like, hey, man, you don't come on land and eat me, I won't go out there and eat you, you know, type thing. Yeah. And, so Sue was like, yeah, I couldn't do that. And I was like, what? And she goes, yeah, I can't put my face. It's not that she can't. She just doesn't like it.
Yeah, the snorkel thing. And again, snorkeling, you're like literally on the surface of the water. But even that.
And I know we keep harping on this, but I got to tell you, so we get this 3 liters of beer, ladies and gentlemen, and 1 order of fish. And we're like, okay. And she does a little conversion for us. It was $13.
Yeah.
$13. Right?
It's so cheap.
And did we mention, by the way, at the old Casa de Habana, we got 2 rums, we got the croquettes, 2 beers, and it was $20. Less than
$20.
It was like $20. It was just like, holy shit.
Everything's so cheap here.
Everything is, I mean, we bought a bottle of rum, you know, and it was $13, $14, you know, and it's a reserve bottle, so it's supposed to have just a little bit of age on it, you know. So, yeah, I mean, just absolutely incredible.
Your dollars will go very far here.
So we,
pesos,
we went and had a good time there. Sat there for I don't know, hour and a half. Yeah. I said, "Sue, you done?" She goes, "Yep." I said, "You done drinking?" Probably had 2 liters of beer left. And about 10 minutes before that, I'd seen what I can only describe as a band, because they had the band T-shirts on and everything like that. And they sat down and they just ordered beer. That's all they had, just 1 beer a pop. And I was like, okay, I could tell. Band on a budget, there we go. So I said, "Sue, you done?" She said, "Yep." I said, "Got any problem if I give this away?" Nope. So we took it, went over, and gave it to them. They were very appreciative. At first, they were like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "We're finito. We're done." You know, whatever the Cuban English translation is, it's your beer now. So enjoy. So they immediately partook and were very happy and thankful for that. But I know this is the allure of vacation, and you're like, oh my God, it's so great. But it's just like, I just think that's how people are here, and it's more common and accepted and almost practiced, I guess is the better word to say it. You know, it's like, because Brandon told us, he's like, oh yeah, he goes, I couldn't finish all that beer. I gave it to some German guys and they helped me finish. It's like, and that's the thing. It's like, they're going to throw this beer out when we leave.
No,
so why don't we give it to someone else that can enjoy it? And we're out of here. And then Sue goes, do I need to look at the GPS? I said, Sue, I think we got it. I think we got it. And we damn near nailed it. We were off by 1 block. But close. That's the awesome thing also about walking around is it's like Cuba really does seem to come alive at night. And we saw all these little, whereas when we walked initially in the morning, we only saw one place that was open that kind of sold, the pastries and things like that. There were many of these shops.
So many of those little shops
that had opened up. Yeah.
That's like the one where we get the rum.
Yeah.
It was another, like, you kind of go down and they had like fun little stuff.
And
like
we showed up. There was one person getting some stuff before us. Yeah. We showed up, asked a couple questions, turn around. There's 8 people in line waiting.
The place was packed.
And it was just like, oh, okay, this is the place. Now, first place you tried to buy the rum, they were like, oh no, Cuban pesos only.
Oh, right.
So it's interesting. But this place we were like American dollars, and they were like, fuck yeah, we'll take your American dollars. And like I said, with the exchange rate, it was just like $13 for this bottle of rum. Thank you very much.
That's great.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. We came back. We ate some more pastries from the place that we got. Mm-hmm. Not convinced that they have milk here. I think coconut milk maybe, but milk, no good.
Yeah, I don't think they do. Yeah.
We took our cool off showers because that's the only quote unquote downside is, when you're walking 9,800 steps, you sweat a little, you get a little hot. So it's like, oh, let me jump in the shower, get nice and cool real quick, and then pop out here.
Yeah,
Our
I
Airbnb
feel
host
great.
came over today. She exchanged out our towels. She was like, I'll come over, I'll change the bedding and all that. And we're like, hey, we're not royalty here. Let's
Yeah,
just leave the
that's
bedding
fine.
like it is. We'll take some fresh towels. That's great. Let's do a little Cuban peso exchange because it'd be nice to have some Cuban money with us
Yeah.
just in case we run into places where you need it. And man, now we're sitting here and we were like, fuck, let's record a podcast and talk about what an amazing thing. Oh, did I mention that Brandon was like, come back tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'm going to do coffee before I leave. Like, come,
That's right.
I'll bring some cigars for you. You know, and it's just like, dude, we've just met for 10 minutes. Now, if Brandon is part of a sleeper cell, and Brandon, if you're listening to this, you have my number, you can always reach out to me, you know, and part of some CIA operation, which I'm slowly being recruited for, I want to tell NSA, FBI, CBS, NBC, whatever. I can't pass a physical as far as a physical fitness test. You're definitely going to find THC in my blood, but I'm ready to serve my country. I'm single, I'm divorced, I got no kids, right? As long as I can bring my dogs wherever we go, I'm ready. If I need to infiltrate a sleeper cell here, you tell me, I will serve for God and country. But, if he's also a Cuban representative and I need to, pledge allegiance to Cuba, we could have some conversations.
Yeah.
We could at least broach the subject, how about that? So, I don't know. That's my thoughts on today. What were your thoughts kind of taking it all in?
You're talking about
Anything.
the
Anything
day?
and everything related to the day.
Well, I have to say, I can see why people enjoy cigars here. I'm not even a cigar smoker. I don't even smoke, but I understand the idea of sitting leisurely, enjoying a cigar, and it's like a social thing. So I love learning about that, And again, even rum. Like, I don't really drink rum, but apparently now I do.
We're converting her.
Yep. So we had that beautiful rum that gentleman purchased for us, which was very nice. And it was like a nice, because I like bourbon. I'm a bourbon girl, but I thought that the rum was similar in a sense. It was like kind of a nice sipping drink. Because for me, when I think of rum, that's the big thing. When I think of rum, I always think of like a white liquor.
Like a mixing rum. Yeah. Yep.
So to me, for this rum, which was like a beautiful golden color,
Had a nice
I
little
never tried it before in my life. And I'm like,
vanilla
"Oh,
flavor to it as
it's
well.
just amazing.
Yeah. And that's the thing here. It's like when they do that, they pour it out and it's like, no. They tell you sipping rum. Like,
Right.
because I will ask, okay, do you shoot this? Or like, no. This
Yeah.
is the stuff you sip, and that's what you do.
But that was nice.
Yeah, that was great.
So I'm into the rum and the cigars now.
And how awesome was that place, that La Casa de Habana? They had
great.
tables where you sit. They have
Yeah.
bartenders that come over and wait on you and check on you, make sure you're good. They had a huge screen TV
Yep.
that had the soccer game on there. So we were able
Clearly,
to
we're
check
going to be
that
going
out.
there every day from now on, folks.
I don't want to go every
Yeah.
day. But for sure, it's like I want to maybe go get some more souvenirs, but that's about the
Yep.
only thing.
I definitely think we got to go and go in that pool, though. They had this
yeah.
beautiful pool.
Yes.
Like, nobody was in there.
And we are going to infiltrate that on
Yeah,
Tuesday.
we're definitely going to infiltrate the
Tuesday,
pool.
we're going to go. I think we'll,
I think we should, pack a big bag.
Yep.
We'll do the pool.
We'll
then
go
after
get-
that, we'll
we'll-
go to get,
we'll go get coffee at that place. That way we're not looking like we're not supposed to be there.
Yep.
We can have coffee at that place. Maybe we stop before, get some pastries, take them over there with us.
Okay.
Bring a couple extra for the staff
Oh,
to enjoy.
yeah.
You got to
that's
spread the
good.
wealth. And then when we get done with that,
Yep.
we'll go jump in the pool for a little while.
Yep.
And then when we come back, we can get another cigar. and,
Yes.
Yes.
We're practically living at the hotel, let's face it.
Yeah, this one hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But just I see the lure of staying at a hotel like that. I mean, as far as it's a lot easier.
yeah,
All the
yeah.
modern conveniences are right there. Whereas
Right.
for us, we have to go out and seek those things.
Right.
We're there. It's kind of like but and then also I will also say this: totally dead in there.
Oh, yeah, there's nobody there.
I mean, 8 people in that cigar
Right.
lounge, and that's the most people I've seen in that entire hotel the entire time. Although someone said the Cuban national baseball team was there.
Oh, that's
but
right.
they had a bar and a restaurant at the bottom level, not a single soul
Right.
there.
It was,
nobody
deserted.
checking in, nobody checking out. It's
Yep.
just like, what is happening?
Although I do, again, I like the fact that we're staying here at the Airbnb and we've been able to discover this great neighborhood. And like I said, when we first got here, I literally thought oh, great, the city's over there. That's where all the restaurants are, etc. We're in this neighborhood. So we're going to have to get a taxi all back and forth. But no, there's like all these amazing little places that we can eat at within walking distance.
And every block, when you walk down it, you discover a new one.
Yeah.
I mean, we discovered 2 or 3 new ones today. We also walked by the North Korean embassy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. On our walk back today, Sue was like, this doesn't look familiar. I'm like, nope. And they had like a guard tower out in the middle of the street. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And you look over, and they have photos of Kim Jong-il.
Yeah.
I believe his name, Kim Jong-un. Please, no disrespect meant. Favorite leader, please don't have us assassinated. But, I mean, they had photos of him visiting these school-age children. And there was a Chinese family at the first place we went today, which not was like, oh my God, shocking, but it was just different than what it was.
It was different.
Yeah, it was like, okay.
That's interesting.
And they brought their own food in there, and the place didn't bitch at them. The place got them a plate and everything. Yeah.
Bag of it looked like the weeds or
it almost. At first, I was like, "Don't tell me those are like crickets or something like that." Yeah,
it was very odd.
Yeah, it was very odd, but they were enjoying themselves.
Branches or something.
Yeah, and having a great time, just like we are. And I mean, it's just I can't stress how awesome today was, and how much fun we had, and how part of the adventure is just we'll see. We just explore, and it's like, hey, you want to walk down the street? It's like, why not? Let's see what's down there. I've never felt unsafe. I've never felt like someone was trying to purposely screw us over.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I feel like again, people are very helpful, and even though we don't know any of the language, we're able to get by with the limited knowledge that we have. And,
you can totally do it. And, even, there's been a number of times, let's face it, where I really don't understand what they're saying and they don't understand what I'm saying, but you can kind of like smile and nod and figure your way out, Yeah. By hand movements or, so. It's not that hard.
No, I mean, you will. You survive, you get along, everyone, and again, we're not trying to take advantage of them, they're taking advantage of us, and it's like...
And people are very patient, and they're like, oh, okay, you don't understand, so they'll try, certainly work with you until you have a mutual understanding of what you're trying to get across, and it's been good. Yeah,
it was great. And as long as you don't hold people up in line or be like, no, we don't need to. And they're like, no, you first. Like, okay, got it. We will order. We will buy some rum right here, right now. So looking forward tomorrow, Hemingway.
That's right. I was just thinking of that.
Hemingway.
That's an afternoon event.
2 p.m. Yes,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
We are sleeping with people, so we will. Yeah, nothing super early in the morning, but this will be fun.
I'm looking forward to that.
This is the thing that Sue has talked about non-stop since before coming.
Hemingway,
so I knew if we were only going to do one thing in this world, it was going to go do this Hemingway tour. And since we said no to the douche doing the tobacco tour yesterday, we're having a private tour tomorrow.
Yes.
No one else in the vehicle. We're gonna exercise our American white privilege by having a private car to drive us around.
A lot of the Airbnb tours, they definitely get the feeling like they want to fill the car up. So you might be in there.
Well, there was the one we were going to go on Saturday. They were going to put 6 other people in besides us. And I was like, what? They're like in a minivan. And I'm like, I don't know a minivan that holds 8 people, but I was willing to do it because the juice was going to be worth the squeeze. And then he turned out to be an asshole. And we said, you know what? We're going to pass on the opportunity to support your business instead.
Do you feel that even though we didn't get to go to the farm, the tobacco farm, in a way, because we found this, the thing at the hotel. Now, I know it's not quite the same thing, but the cigar, kind of experience, so to speak.
Yeah,
I'm still getting kind of a cigar experience in a sense.
I would love to go to a factory and see them roll it, but it's like, I know how tobacco's made.
Right.
The only thing it would make is beautiful photos, as far as like doing that stuff. And you could see like how the rural people live, allegedly, so that's the only part I feel bad at. And again, we still have time. We may say, fuck it, Wednesday, we're just going to go all out, and maybe go do that. But I was happy that we found the La Casa de Habana, just because I wanted. It's just a cool experience. I've been to 1 or 2, and I was like, oh man, the fact that I can say I was in one of these in fucking Cuba, like the homeland, the motherland, if you will. So
explain to us, those not in the know. Maybe I'm the only one, but what is Casa de Habana. Is it like you can go to these in the States?
No. So
Oh,
they don't
okay.
have any in the States. You can't even buy Cuban cigars legally in the United States. Now, if you go to cigarshabanos.com, like I have, they ship them from Hong Kong. I've never had a shipment seized. That's all awesome. But so one, you could never visit one of these in the States because they don't have them. But two, they're like the official store for Cubans.
Okay.
So it's not like, hey, I got a guy that's a roller that will sell you something. It's like, this is the state store basically for doing that. And the really cool thing I liked is the fact they have a roller there, and you could smoke her cigars.
Right.
You know, and so that was, you know, it's cool. It's the novelty of it. It's fun, you know, and the fact that you're in a beautiful location, you know, they got a full bar, you know, they treat you like, they treat you well. I mean, it's just, it's the whole experience, you know, and then like, you know, I was like, man, I want a souvenir. Ooh, look at that lighter. And it's like $4 for the lighter.
Yeah.
And it's got an emblem on it that I like, you know, or a brand I like. And I'm like, okay, I'll take one of those, you know. Sue got some of that, you know, it's just, I don't know, like, you got souvenirs for the kids. I'm getting souvenirs for me. And it's like, oh, these are the souvenirs that I would want. And, you know, provided, depending on what type of text I get from our buddy Brandon, you know, I would even consider buying like 10 of her cigars so that when I go home, not even for just me, but like to go to my poker game and be like, hey guys, I got something special that nobody else is going to have. You know, it's like,
love that.
Yeah, you can't even get these from Cigars Habanos. It's like, hey, this is what we're doing, you know. So that's what I think makes it special to me. And I mean, the hotel, it's absolutely beautiful. And I think I've mentioned it before, but if not, we'll mention it again. The hotels are a joint partnership between Cuba and the hotel partner. So it's kind of half and half. But you can tell, I mean, these are meant to be state-of-the-art facilities.
Clearly.
I mean, that's why the Cuban baseball team, I think, is theirs, because I think this is probably one of their crown jewel hotels.
Imagine.
And I think, what'd you say? It was $175 a night, I think is what you saw.
That's what I saw online.
So, you know, don't get me wrong, that's not cheap, but it certainly isn't as expensive. I mean, there's hotels in Texas.
I think for Cuba, that's expensive.
Yeah. Oh, for Cuba, yeah. You know, the stuff that we did today, especially at the hotel, is probably out of the reach of so many Cubans. So, you know, but the cafeteria we went to start off the day, the place we went to today at the water, those were all Cuban citizens there.
Oh, yeah.
And we didn't even talk about the beautiful cars that were in the parking lot of that place.
Oh, that Mercedes, a cute little Mercedes that was so cute.
Look,
and then
when the borders open up over here,
oh my gosh,
car people from the States are going to lose their fucking mind.
The cars are
what are being driven around here is daily drivers. Like that Mercedes was gorgeous.
Yes.
Gorgeous. Someone back home would pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for that Mercedes, you know. And it's very easy to tell the wealthy people here. One, some of these houses these folks live in.
Oh my gosh, beautiful.
They're estates.
Yeah.
I mean, and like one we passed by, it had a whole separate area just for the cars, and they probably had 20 stalls. I'm pretty sure for vehicles that were pretty much full, and you're like, there's just one person living in that, you know. So you could tell that, and then you can also tell by the type of vehicle. So, you know, they have the old vehicles, which are cool. Then they have the resto mods, which are old vehicles, you know, restored today. And then they have like, Chevy Silverado, you know. But you're going to see one of those a day, if you're lucky. Yeah. You know, I think we saw 3 trucks today.
I was just going to say, I think, 3 trucks.
Yeah.
We don't really see many trucks.
Yeah,
but
and again, you know, even having a car here, what'd you say, 50% of the people?
Yeah, like 50% of the people even have a car. That's why either that or there's, you know, quite a few people in those little scooters, which I tend to think they're maybe electric scooters. They're so quiet. You know, and then of course people walk.
Yep.
Obviously, everybody walks.
Lots of buses.
Yep.
Lots of
buses.
group
That's
taxis, which are basically old vehicles that just look like they've had an addition put onto them where people sit.
Some funny vehicles where people just sit in the back.
Super fucking close, and of course the metro system. So you know. I understand we're not doing the traditional Cuban experience of, you know, living out in a farm and things like that, but we're trying to keep it as realistic as possible too, and not get our heads. And it goes to show you that fish we had today that was just like a thing we had to buy in order to get the beer was better than the fancy restaurant that we went to.
There you go, exactly.
You know? And even though Sue didn't like the lobster because it was a little overcooked and no butter, still was an amazing restaurant that probably most people here couldn't afford.
That place was beautiful too.
Yeah,
you know?
just absolutely.
And I have to say, I think we picked the perfect location to stay. Because again, when I first saw where we were, I was like, oh, we're not close enough to the city.
Let's be clear. Sue picked the perfect place.
Oh, yeah, it was me.
She
I
found
picked
this
the perfect
place. If
true.
you would like to hire her, aka pay money for her to
Yeah.
find you the perfect Airbnb, she
That's
is
my
available
jam,
for
people.
hire.
That is my jam.
And she found this great place.
You know,
Yeah.
I will research Airbnb to death until you are happy.
And yeah, and the thing is, like you say, we're in a great location where we're not in the hustle and bustle by the streets.
Yes.
But you walk any direction, you're going to find a place to eat.
Yep.
You're going to find a shop if you need something, you know, or you're going to find something where you're like, holy shit, look at that.
Because as lovely as the girl who did the drink thing, she had that boutique hotel. She was in a real busy area, you know? So.
She was in the heart of downtown. Like, you wouldn't find it any other way without going specifically to there, and probably only if you stayed there. But you're right. When you walk out on that street, it's hustle.
Oh, yeah.
It's bustle. I mean, you're in the heart of downtown.
Very busy.
Yeah.
So,
and I wouldn't have enjoyed that. I enjoy this way more because it's nice at this time of night when we just want to come back and sip our Cuban rum and go to bed way too early like we have been. And Sue, you know, I'm not bragging here, but Sue said she's feeling better, right? We're getting the sun. We're getting the steps in.
I feel so much better.
We're getting the food.
You hear that, Dr. Fowler?
Yeah, we're doing it. We're doing it all, Doc. We're listening to you so much so that we, are out there doing it. So it's been amazing. I've loved being able to share this with you guys. Hopefully you find enjoyment from this type of stuff. Let me know, good, bad, or indifferent, because if you do, we'll do more of these when we go on more adventures and more trips. It's fun for us to kind of keep track daily of what's going on and share what's going on in the world with us. So it's been a phenomenal time. We appreciate you guys being around for the journey. Believe it or not, we're only halfway. We got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we go home Thursday. But we still got a whole 3 more days in country. We're going to see Hemingway. We're going to do the pool. We're going to go back to La Casa de Habana. We may get froggy and head out to the farms. Who knows what adventure awaits us? But I do know this.
We might even go to the beach, people.
We will be dictating it and sharing it with you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Please rate, review, subscribe, leave a comment, thumbs up. Let me know someone out there
Brandon,
is listening to this.
Please leave us a comment.
Yes, Brandon. Yeah, you got my number, Brandon. You were amazing, dude. Like I told Sue after you left, I was like, that's what I would love to be, is someone that is just personable, helpful, friendly, knowledgeable, and giving. So it's been a great trip. If you're on the fence about coming to Cuba, don't be scared, homie, as Nick Diaz says, right? Or Nate Diaz, one of the Diaz brothers. You don't have anything to be worried about. It's a great time. It's a great adventure.
Highly recommended.
And you should definitely come join us. So that's where we'll be here forever.
Yeah, we're never leaving.
Yeah, we're never leaving. Folks, this is my announcement. We're never coming back. We love you. Hasta la vista. We'll talk to you soon. Be well.